everyone, welcome to our new series called Literary Tuesday. Woo! AKA hashtag Lit Tuesday, because who would not want to talk about books? So what we're going to do today, or what we plan to do with this, is to introduce you guys to new books or some oldie but goodies to us that you might like and hopefully check out here at the library. Today we are going to go over some YA, or better known as young adult books. And we have some good ones for you. Some that I have read, some that I haven't read, but you can let us know in the comments what you think about them or if you've ever read them. Do you like YA books?
I do like YA books, but I don't think I read them enough. So maybe after this segment, I'll be really interested and I'll want to read more. So I'm excited.
I think I have a type when it comes to YA books, and I try to venture out into other ones, but sometimes I just can't do it. Either I want bam pow action or I want to cry my eyes out.
Those are very different.
It's like one or the other. I haven't found like in betweens. Like there's been so many YA books, like I'm pretty sure all of you out there have read, that have like, oh my gosh, cried so hard on. And there's been very few adaptations to them in movies that like carry it through, that I cry even harder. Like I know what's coming up. Like one of the books that I have, I know what's coming up, and then I read the book too, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna cry.
And it doesn't ruin it, even though you know what's gonna happen. You still cry.
Still cry. But we'll have YA books for today. So the very first one that I went ahead and picked it, I'm gonna actually read a page from. Hopefully I don't murder it too bad. But read a page from. It's actually one that I recently read, or actually listened to audio, is The Mask of Shadows. This one is such a good one that I was telling Megan that the writer only wrote 2 books to the whole series, and I felt like she could have did a third. Like I really, really do, and I almost wish she did a third, so that way I know what happens, because I was just like, no!
Do you think she's working on that?
I looked it up and it says she's not. So, unless she hasn't just updated everybody else, but like, you know how you can look up books and see what they have coming in, and authors normally have them like planned out for a while? She doesn't have any for the series.
Okay.
So I was so sad. But it's called The Mask of Shadows by Linsey Miller. It's really awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read a page, maybe 2, and we'll talk about it and see how we feel. You can let us know how you feel about them as well. But it's going to start off with Chapter 1. The thick, briny scent of sweat-soaked leather sped through my cloth mask. A guarded carriage rattled down the road, upwind of me. I leaned out of my tree and caught a flicker of light from the carriage lamp. The carriage's blue paint shone, lighted, and mud splattered. I groaned. The nobles. The branches break beneath me, crack as footsteps scraped along the bark. I flipped the knife into my palm. The sentence for robbing nobles was hanging. But only if they caught you. Lord Sal, where are you? Wrath burst through the leaves, and I tripped over my perch. Point of hiding is to stay hid. I shoved him backward, and I yanked his mask down over his face. What do you want? Wrath tapped my nose with his baton. You up to robbing Erlins? Erlins were stiff and cold as the lands they ruled, and merciless as death. They hold a picnic at the gallows. That's going to go into 2 pages. I tightened the knots in the back of my mask. You up to keeping quiet? Ralph slapped his hand over his mouth and nodded towards the carriage below us. I crept along the branch as far as I dared, eyeing the coach's window. If I had no shoulders, I would fit through easily. This will be fun. I shake my head. This would hurt. Fun? Fun? Ralph robbed the stump where his little finger had been. Or you miss and we all get hanged. Fun? Yeah, fun. Ralph huffed, scrambling out of his tree. His footsteps whispered over the deadfall, and a long, low bird whistled echoed between the trees. 1 call, 1 carriage, and 1 shot at meeting our quota. The horse clomped over the dirt, carrying the soldiers closer to our nest hidden in the tree. 10 mounted and armed guards circled the coach. They looked right and they looked left, but they never glanced up. I exhaled, tightened my grip on the branch, and then the carriage rolled underneath me. We dropped the nets, the soldiers howled, spears' arms tangled in the lines, and the driver jerked the coach to a stop. Wrath whistled. I flung myself from the tree, and my boots tore through the carriage's curtain, and I took out the passenger with a sharp heel to the head. My shoulder scraped both sides of the window frame as I slid into the carriage. I waved my knife. Your money or your lives? I asked, twisting around the noble. Money, the noble said. Barely older than me and half a head shorter. And that's the end of the second page.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's totally into like thieving and robbing. But if we were to read the insert on it, because then it gives you more information. I'll have to read that. But I can't really. Oh, I could tell you guys about it because I read the whole book. I listened to it all. But she is just like a thief, and she has her friend, and they're just trying to make a living. It's hard out there. Or at least it's hard out there in their dystopia. It's hard out there for them to try to make it through. And what's the best way to do it?
Yeah.
Just rob some people and take something. Not condoning it, but look.
Well, I feel like my first impression is that it had really good descriptions that made me want to hear more. I was like, oh, and then like I don't know, like her knife and things like that. Like it was definitely interesting.
This author is really good at describing things and getting you to capture it. Like I remember when we first got this book and I was cataloging or putting it in our system so people could check it out. I did just that. I was like, you know what? I'll read the first couple of pages because unfortunately you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover. But I mean, I judge a book by its cover.
We all do it.
And so I was like, well, let me see what it is. So that way, in case somebody asked me, like, hey, do you know a book? And I was like, yeah, I'll keep this in my brain. I read, like, the first, 5 pages of it, and I was just like, I need to read more. I need to read more. And then I was just like, I need to know what happens next to this person. And that's how good this author's writing is, and I'm totally surprised that it sucked me in. But, yeah, I totally judged it by its cover on this one.
Wow.
Totally did that. But
I like it.
If we were giving it a rating, I would definitely I wouldn't give it a 5 because then that just sets impossible standards for everyone else. But it would definitely be a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5?
It would be 4 out of 5 of coffee cups.
Ooh, 4 out of 5 coffee cups.
That's how we're rating things here.
That's good.
4 out of 5 cups. Love that.
Okay. So, our next YA read that we gotta do. I love it.
Yeah. Definitely have to read that one. So I don't know if you guys, this book is pretty old. I don't know how old is it. Isn't this one? It came out with a movie. Sad to say, the movie was, in my opinion, let me get that straight. It is my opinion. This movie was 2013, so that sounds about right. About 2012. The book is amazing. The movie was such a letdown, and I don't even want to show the cover because the cover is the movie cover. And it's not the, you know how they have, original covers, and then when the movie comes out, they, pretty much take it over. It's one of those. But it's going to be The Fifth Wave. This one right here was one that was, it's horror. They say it right, perfect. Romance, horror, and dystopian. And, whenever I read this one, I was like, what am I reading? Because this is something I've never read before. When it comes to, aliens and stuff. Now, let me give you some history. Back then, when I read this one, I pretty much just got done doing all of the... Looking for Alaska. What's his name?
Oh, John Green?
Yeah. I just got done reading all of John Green's books. And so I was, in that state of mind. So then...
Very, romance. Yeah. Sad, but happy, blah, blah.
And all of those emotions and these kids and stuff. And then threw this one into the mix, and I was just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't understand. But if you want a good suspenseful but not to freak yourself out too much.
That's good, yeah. I feel like I would like that.
Then this would definitely be a good one to read and look through. But you can read the first couple of pages of this one. If aliens ever visit us, yes. Then it really makes you wonder what would we do if aliens ever were to visit us? What if that was a thing?
It's hard to imagine. Okay, so I'll read the first few pages and see if I'm interested. Okay, chapter 1. Aliens are stupid. I'm not talking about real aliens. The others aren't stupid. The others are so far ahead of us, it's like comparing the dumbest human to the smartest dog. No contest. No, I'm talking about the aliens inside our own heads. The ones we made up. The ones we've been making up since we realized those glittering lights in the sky were suns like ours and probably had planets like ours spinning around them. You know, the aliens we imagined, the kind of aliens we'd like to attack us, human aliens. They've seen them a million times. They swoop down from the sky in their flying saucers to level New York and Tokyo and London, or they march across the countryside in huge machines that look like mechanical spiders, ray guns blasting away, and always, humanity sets aside its differences and bands together to defeat the alien horde. David slays Goliath, and everybody except Goliath goes home happy. What crap. It's like a cockroach working up a plan to defeat the shoe on its way down to crush it. There's no way to know for sure, but I bet the others knew about the human aliens we'd imagined. And I bet they thought it was funny as hell. They must have laughed their asses off if they have a sense of humor. Or asses. They must have laughed the way we laugh when a dog does something totally cute and dorky. Oh, those cute dorky humans. They think we think like they do. Isn't that adorable? Forget about flying saucers and little green men and giant mechanical spiders spitting out death rays. Forget about epic battles with tanks and fighter jets and the final victory of us scrappy, unbroken, intrepid humans over the bug-eyed swarm. That's about as far from the truth as their dying planet was from our living one. The truth is, once they found us, we were toast. And that's actually the whole first chapter. So, there we go.
And see.
Well, definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny. Like, the way the narration is happening, it's kind of funny.
And I think if I remember correctly, because it's been a couple years since I've read this one, but it carries that way through this book and the second book that they have, The Infinite Sea, and it does it that way as well.
Okay.
So the main character that they follow, it's a girl, the main character that they follow, that's how she talks. And it's just like, oh my gosh. But if I could rate this one, I think I would give it like a 3.5 out of 5 coffees.
Okay.
But this is definitely one that I go to recommending people whenever they're like, well, I want aliens, well, I want horror, but I want like some type of romance, but they don't want all the gushy.
It has romance. A lot of different aspects to it, like the romance, the sci-fi, kind of scary. So it has a lot for you.
Whenever it hits people. So definitely try this one out. This one is a good read. It's a thick read too, so depending on how fast you read, it's going to take you a while. I know it took me a while because I tend to be a slow reader because I get distracted.
That's okay.
And then I'll start reading again. But there was that. And then there's one more that I want to show you guys. And for us to take a little taste on this Tuesday this is actually the sequel. So the first one's If I Stay. And that's the one that was adapted to a movie. This was the book. The first one in this book was when I cried so hard. Like, I think this one and Fault in the Stars. That one, oh my gosh, made me like such a baby.
Aww.
Such a baby.
It happens to all of us.
And then the movie too.
Yeah.
But the movie of both of those ones was just like such a baby. This one is the sequel to If I Stay, and it is Where She Went by Gayle Forman. Super thin, super small too, so this one's definitely a quick and easy read for you. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the insert that's in it. And it says, my first impulse is not to grab her or to kiss her or to yell at her. I simply want to touch her cheek. Still flushed from the night's performance, I want to cut through the space that separates us. Measured in feet, not in miles. Not continents, not years. And to take a callous finger to her face. But I can't touch her. This is a privilege that has been revoked. It has been 3 years since Adam's love saved Mia after the accident of an annihilation life that she knew. And 3 years since Mia walked out of Adam's life forever. Now, living on the opposite coast, Mia is in Juilliard's rising star and Adam is in LA tabloid fodder. Thanks to his new rock star status and celebrity girlfriend, Adam gets stuck in New York by himself, and then chance brings the couples together again for one last night as they explore the city that has become Mia's home. Adam and Mia revisit the past and open up their hearts to the future and to each other. Told from Adam's point of view in the sparse and powerful prose that is defined by If I Stay, Where She Went explores the devastation of grief and the promise of new hope and the flame of a rekindled romance. I'm just saying. That just reminded me about this book. Yeah. So the first one is totally told from her story. And then it just, whenever you reread things like that, it brings it all back into your mind.
Yeah.
This one tells it from him. Like, they were, like, so in love. And then life happened, which it happens to everyone. And then they got separated, but whenever they came back together, it was just, like, it never happened at all. Like, those 3 years were, like, non-existent. And this is a really good one.
Okay.
So if you want to read from both his point of view and her point of view.
Yeah, it's always cool to get both points of view.
Because normally when you read books, it's always just a one person, and you never ever get a chance to see what it's like from the other person's.
And If I Stay is it's kind of a crazy story. Like, it kind of breaks barriers and stuff. And so it would be interesting to hear from his point of view, because it's kind of all about her. So, yeah, I feel like it sounds pretty interesting.
That would be a good one. So I could rate this one. This would probably be a 3.5 on mine too.
Okay.
3.5, definitely, for where she went. But all of these books can be checked out from our library. You can get them all through our catalog, placing a hold on them. All you need is a library card to check them on out. Definitely recommend, especially if you've already read through your to be read pile or your I wish I had time to read pile. We seem to have tons of more time to read. And you are like, well, what books can I read next? Definitely visit these ones. They're ones that I would recommend. I mean, you can also read them and be like, Dani, you have terrible taste. I mean, that's the thing too.
Tell us what YA books you guys are enjoying too. And if you need more recommendations, we're always here to give you more. So
to let you know, we have such a great selection too. So, or if there's YA books that you're like, oh, well, you guys don't have them, let us know. We want to make sure that we have the books for you guys to read and for you guys to enjoy.
Definitely.
But that's all we have for today.
Yay.
And that is our Literary Tuesday.
Yeah.
We hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you guys next Tuesday. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, follow us on YouTube.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.